If you've ever wondered what it actually feels like to live in Salem, Oregon, well then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to walk you through what a typical day looks like here, everything from morning vibe and commute to what locals do for fun and even what evening feels like downtown. So if you are thinking about making the move to Salem, Oregon, by the end of this video, you will have a much better idea of what to expect when it comes to lifestyle. Now, I know for me and my family, when we were researching before we moved to Salem, Oregon, we got to learn a little bit about the neighborhood, some of the highlights of Salem, but you really don't have a really good understanding of what your typical day-to-day lifestyle is going to be, and that's why I made this video. So you're going to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly about living in Salem, Oregon. The best way I could really describe the daily life in Salem is balance. You've got that small town comfort feel here in Salem, but it's big enough to where you don't actually ever feel cut off from anything. Mornings start off pretty slow here. The city doesn't wake up with the same rush that you see in Portland or Eugene or any other big city that you may be coming from. The traffic is light, people wave at each other at the coffee lines, and there's just this calm pace that makes you feel at home pretty quickly. And a lot of people move here for just that reason. They're trying to escape the crowds, the noise that come with a big city. I know that was the big motivation for my family and I of choosing Salem. But at the same time, we still wanted to make sure that we had easy access to all the amenities that we needed, whether it was good restaurants, jobs, of course, and for us, a big draw was being easy access to the outdoors. So let's start off what a typical morning looks like. Most people in Salem, Oregon kind of start their day around 7, 8 a.m. And yes, it starts with coffee. Coffee is a really big deal here in Salem, Oregon. In fact, Pacific Northwest, I would say, and we've got a lot of options for you. If you're in a little bit of a rush and you just want a drive-through coffee spot, we've got you covered with Dutch Brothers, Human Bean, and so many more other drive-through coffee spots that tend to be really popular. If you got a little bit more time to kind of ease into your morning, we've got a lot of cool spots all throughout the city, especially the downtown area. We've got Isaac's, Governor's Cup, Archive, the Ike, and so many more that you can choose from. And if you live in West Salem like I do and you want to avoid kind of the downtown area, go to Urban Grange. It's off of Edgewater. Great spot. What I like most about all of these coffee places is that they have a warm, cozy, small town feel. And again, you're going to see people that you probably know. People are very friendly, and it's just a great way to start your morning. Now, if you've got kids like I do, then your day may start a little bit earlier, but the good news is getting your kids to school is fairly easy here. It's not overly congested or crowded. A lot of people have different options of getting their kids to school, and a lot of the schools are in neighborhoods, so you can walk to school, you can take a very short drive and go off the drop-off line. Your kids can take the bus. There's a bus that comes into the neighborhoods here. So you've got a lot of options, and it's really easy to get your kids off to start their day, and it doesn't really disrupt your day too much. Now let's talk about morning commutes, because I know that's a big topic when people are moving here, especially if you're coming from a large city. You're used to sitting in rush hour, congestion, planning your mornings around sitting in traffic. That's just not the case here. Yeah, we have a bit of a morning rush hour, but you know, if you're working in Salem, most likely it's going to take you about 15 minutes to get to work. At worst, it's going to be like 20-25 minutes, and that's if you're trying to get across town. So the commute here is, again, much lighter than I was anticipating, which is great. I know if you talk to some of the locals here, they feel like it's a bit heavier over the last few years, and I can say that over time, as more people have moved here, the commute has gotten a little bit more congested, but again, overall, your morning commute is going to be really easy. And I think it's because of that ease of traffic that people can actually take the time to take advantage of getting that morning cup of coffee, like I mentioned earlier. Now, if you're someone that lives in Salem and you are working in Portland, because we do have quite a few people that do that as well, then you can expect your commute time to be about an hour, depending on where in Portland you're going to be. And that's if there's no accidents or lane closures on the I-5 freeway to get up into Portland. And of course, if you are like many people that move to Salem and you work remotely, then you don't have to worry about your morning commute, and you can get your morning coffee whenever you desire. Now, before I move further into what typical lifestyle here is in Salem, I want to remind you, I am Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, local agent. If you are someone that's thinking about moving to Salem, buying a home, make sure you hit me up at the contact information popping up. If you like what you see, hit the like button to get the video out to more people like yourself. Subscribe to the channel. I know there's not a lot of videos out there about Salem, Oregon. This is why I do these videos. Also, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking or what your concerns are about your day-to-day life here in Salem. One of the biggest things that people love about living in Salem, Oregon is just how easy you can get things done. Now, I know most people work during the day, but because of how close things are or how easy it is to get to places, people can take their breaks during work, during their lunch hour, or whatever it is, on their way to work or on the way home. They can easily run the errands that they need. It really seems like wherever you live or work in Salem, that you're just super close to all the amenities, and running errands is just not a production. It's not something you need to plan for. I remember when I lived in a large city, we would actually plan our days around running errands just because of how long it took to get to places or how inconvenient it was to go. And I just don't feel that way here in Salem. I could be on a whim that I've got to run an errand. It's not planned out. It doesn't consume my day. And that's the beauty about the way Salem is laid out. I could hit up one of my favorite grocery stores in Trader Joe's, get a bite to eat downtown, and just stroll on over a couple blocks to one of my favorite parks, Riverfront Park, and take a walk, all just during a break. And I absolutely love taking advantage of all of that here in Salem. But this is also very true if you work in our three major industries here, which is healthcare, government, and education, because all of those places are, again, super close to all the amenities and in the downtown area. So it really makes your midday routine that much easier. Now let's talk lunch, because the food scene actually surprises a lot of people. I know it surprised me when I moved here in a good way. I really didn't have much expectations when moving to Salem, especially from a large city. But I have been pleasantly surprised, and people take full advantage of it, especially in the downtown area. Now, I focus a lot on the downtown area, but of course there's food scenes all throughout the city. You actually do have a lot of food options that are not centered around the downtown area. Some of my favorites that I like to go to are what we call food pods. We've got the Yard in the eastern portion of Salem. We've got the Beehive in the southern portion of Salem. We've got Checkpoint 221 in West Salem. So if you're looking for variety, convenience in a way, and not in the downtown area, definitely check those out. But if you are in the downtown area or close to it, some of my favorites are Wild Pear, Taproot, Venti's, all locally owned. There's so much more. And I'm talking lunch specifically. There's a lot of great restaurants that I would choose for dinner. But again, we're talking about our typical day-to-day stuff, daily life, workday life. This is where I would go. And you've got, again, a lot of great options. And they're not overly busy. You're not going to be waiting in long lines. So if you do have your typical lunch break time, you're not going to spend most of it just waiting and ordering for your food. You can actually sit down and enjoy what you're eating. I mentioned a number of food pods outside of the downtown area, but if you're looking for that type of experience, we do have one downtown as well called Fork 40, so I definitely highly recommend that as well. But what makes Salem so unique and special is just how close we are to nature and how it can be part of your day-to-day life, even on your work days. Because of how close we are to some really cool urban parks like Minto Brown Park or Riverfront Park or Bush Pasture Park, all within about 5 minutes of the downtown area. So if you're someone like me who just needs a breather during the day or wants a way to de-stress and you want to be surrounded by nature, it's so easy to access, and it really clears your head. And again, because we're not overly congested like a big city, you can really feel a sense of space and truly enjoy nature for what it is. And I'm adding this as part of your day-to-day life because a lot of people do take advantage of that during the workday. I know it's something that I do and I see people do on a routine basis. And so that is pretty special and something that you should definitely know about, and know that you can take advantage of that and make that part of your daily routine. If that's something that you're desiring and you don't have now, when you move to Salem, you will have it. You really do get that calm and sense of space that it's really hard to find elsewhere. If you're moving here with a family like I did, this is where I feel Salem really shines. I feel like neighborhoods are really truly built around community. This is something that we desired and has become part of our day-to-day life that we just weren't experiencing, or necessarily we weren't experiencing where we lived, and we weren't necessarily expecting this when we moved here. Again, this was one of those surprises that we only discovered after moving here. We have really made and incorporated this community lifestyle as part of our day-to-day life. We take full advantage of all of the neighborhood parks and the urban parks that are here in Salem, Oregon, along with so many other people that we really feel connected. We also take advantage of the Saturday market that opens up and brings the community together in the downtown area, that opens in spring and goes all the way through most of fall. We've brought the agricultural community into our own lifestyle by visiting the local farms for a lot of you-pick seasons that we do here, especially in spring when we're going out berry picking, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. We go for peaches, and in the fall we hit up the same farms for apples and pears. It's just, again, you see so many people come out for this throughout the city. We see family, friends, neighbors, not even plan to see them, but they're there just doing the same thing because it really invites the community out there. There are a ton of fall festivities during the fall season where a lot of farms open up their grounds to corn mazes, pumpkin patches, live music, kid entertainment, obstacle courses, apple cannon shooting, good food, and so much more. Again, this is just something that brings the community together, and it's part of your daily routine on the weekends. And there are so many weekend events that occur here in Salem throughout the year, especially in the spring, summer, and earlier parts of fall, where it just enhances the lifestyle, your daily lifestyle, because you can find something pretty much something to do every single weekend. And if you're like my family, where sports is part of your daily routine, you're not going to be disappointed when coming to Salem, Oregon. That was one thing we were actually concerned about, given that the weather here can be prohibitive. If you have seen any of my other videos, I talk a lot about the weather and what to expect. If you haven't, make sure you check them out to be fully prepared. But with that said, there are a lot of sports programs here throughout the entire year, including the rainy seasons during fall and winter. We've got a lot of indoor sports activities as well. And so we were definitely pleasantly surprised about that as part of our daily routine, because that was something that was important to us. And of course, if you're an empty nester or someone that doesn't have kids, you will still feel very well connected, because the community is so inviting for everybody that lives here. At least that's been our experience. A lot of activities and a lot of events for everybody to enjoy. So everyone is covered when living here and taking advantage of your daily routine, whether it's during the weekday or the weekend. Now let's talk about your typical evening, or what your nightlife would be like here in Salem. Now, the best way I can explain Salem in the evening is peaceful. Some people may explain it as boring. It really depends on your perspective and where you are in life. If you are someone looking for raging clubs and bars and just big crowded venues and big venues, Salem's not going to be for you. If you're looking for more of a peaceful, quiet time, looking for casual eating, nice restaurants, relaxing times, then Salem's going to be just right for you. Especially during the summers, where it's near perfect weather, in my opinion. You're going to see a lot of people out for evening strolls in the park, especially along riverfront. Kids playing outside a ton in the evenings. In my neighborhood and many of the neighborhoods that I visited in the evenings, you see a lot of people walking their dogs, just out for an evening stroll. And if you are talking about going out for entertainment, I will say that places do close a little bit early here, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, depending on where you are on the weekends, maybe even a little bit earlier on the weekdays. So just be prepared for that. It is a quieter city. We do lack the buzz of what you would find in a larger city. So again, if that's something that you still desire, I don't recommend living here in Salem. Now, for us, we didn't want that anymore. I had that in my 20s and 30s. I'm just not really there anymore. I've got a couple of kids that wear me out a little bit, so I'm not up to staying until midnight, 2 a.m. out partying anymore. I just live a different lifestyle. So if you're looking for more of that quieter lifestyle, quieter entertainment, then Salem's right for you. Again, that's not to say we don't have evening entertainment. Again, especially during the summer, we've got concerts in the park, movies in the park. They're just a little bit low key. If I had to sum up the overall feeling of kind of your typical lifestyle here in Salem, I'd have to say you just feel like you're part of something more grounded. You feel like you have some space to breathe. You're living in real neighborhoods and around a community that looks out for each other. It's one of those cities that you feel like you can buy a home that fits your lifestyle and not really experience the financial stress that would come with a bigger city and having to feel like you're keeping up with the Joneses, always on a rush, go, go, go. It is not like that here at all. It's one of the things that really attracted my family and I here, is what we can experience in our day-to-day life. We just feel so much less stressed out. We just feel more at ease, more comfortable, and that's what we were looking for when moving to Salem. And if we really want a taste of that bigger city or something else, we also know that we're super centrally located. We are about an hour away from Portland, so we need that big city fix. We can get that anytime we want. We can go south if we want that college town feel into Eugene, which is about an hour and a half or so. We're also about an hour away from the coast, some of the most beautiful coastline you'll experience. And we're just about an hour and a half away from the foothills of the Cascade Mountains. So we're just really centrally located to everything and anything that we need and want, which makes it awesome because we can live our peaceful, calm lifestyle here in Salem and yet be close enough to the coast, the mountains, big city, and college town. It's really hard to beat when you look at it from that perspective. So this is what you can expect in a typical lifestyle here in Salem. It's just slower, it's more intentional, more grounded. And so if you are thinking about making the move to Salem, Oregon and buying a home, make sure you hit me up at the contact information popping up. Also, if you like what you see, subscribe to the videos to get more content. I know there's not a lot out there about Salem specifically, and that's what my channel is here for you. Hit the like button if you like what you see to get this video to more people like yourselves thinking about moving to Salem. Comment below. Would love to hear your comments, your concerns about what you may expect living here in Salem.